Okay,
Can you
yeah.
see it pop up? Yeah. So this is Conversations with Inferius. It's my 3rd episode, and I've got the legendary DJ Swerve. Swerve, how you been, bro? What's going on? Talk to me.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, cooped up, working on music, just trying to, like everyone, try and keep themselves occupied, stay positive, keep the energy going, you know, just doing, obviously, I've been fortunate, I'm doing the KISS show, going really well. And then, you know, the production, the house side of stuff that I do as part of Rhythm Commission.
Rhythm Commission,
it's been more time to devote to that. Because you know what it's like when you're doing late nights and next day the energy is not going to be there. And yeah. So all this time where I've been thinking, you know, when I get more time, now's the time where you've got more time. So.
Thank you. I'm glad that you see it. A lot of people are kind of like doing nothing, which there's nothing wrong with. But I feel like after a while, you can do nothing for like a month, and then you're like, okay, cool. Now let me do something. But now you've got the time. Are you still doing are you pre-recording the shows at home and then sending them across? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're okay with that, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. We have to at the moment.
Yeah.
Just with the social distancing and stuff. A lot of content. A lot of radio content is still sort of being done at home and then sent to producers remotely who are then working on it. It's been good the way it's all been sort of put together. I mean, it definitely helps being set up at home yourself and being used to sort of recording. And one of the best bits of advice actually that I was given a long time ago was, you don't mind me going off on these tangents, right?
No, you know what it is? I feel like you've got so much knowledge that just speak, bro.
It normally turns into a story, mate. I'll be honest.
No, I love
you
stories.
Can edit it. But yeah, there was a guy, Billy Grant. He's a really good guy in the industry. And I met Billy. Billy worked at Telstar at the time, and he was looking after a number of acts, including Craig David and Mystique. So I started doing, he asked me to do some edits. So when Mystique were doing live performances, I would edit together audio, whether it's, you know, like their show track. So if they want to do, a lot of times, if you look at some of the Mystique live performances, they would go from one track to another. And I would, you know, Billy started asking me to put them together. So we used to go to I'm getting around to the point.
That's fine, bro. I love these stories, bro.
We used to go to a recording studio to put these edits together because he would give me the sessions that they'd recorded. So all the mixes, like instrumentals, dub mixes, PA mixes. So Billy was great for very imaginative when it came to those sort of things. He'd go, yeah, he'll have a rough idea. I want to go from this to this, or what, you know, he'd ask me what was popping at the time in terms of club records. So he would try and work those in. So we used to go to the studio and do them. And then I was probably having lunch with him or having dinner with him or just having a drink. And he said to me, you know what, Swerve, you know what you need to invest in? Because, you know, I get paid for doing them. He said, you should buy yourself a Mac. You should buy yourself your own Mac. Because at the time, this was early 2000s, right? So
2000s.
like pre-Serato, probably still DJing on vinyl. So I wouldn't I'd have maybe a PC laptop at home for answering emails. I wouldn't be doing no production on it or anything like that. So yeah, he said to me, you know, you should get your own Mac. And it was a great piece of advice. I mean, now everyone's got their own computers, but you know, you carry that forward, and it's the more independent you can be at home, the better, particularly at times like this. So it's investing in the right equipment. So what it would mean is, from a business point of view, like there was more budget for me to do my stuff. We wouldn't have to pay an engineer and
for the recording studio and stuff.
Yeah, and I would be able to do it at home, and that was how my production kind of started, because then I started having my own stuff at home and I could start putting production together. I think one of my favorite edits I did was, if you look at Mystique did the Mobos, and there was definitely one of the performances they did where they went into Ludacris, What's Your Fantasy, like the instrumental. But I remember doing that one because that was the one that was popping at the time. So they would flip one of the tunes and then it flips into, I'll have to find it, but yeah, I was doing things like that.
That's crazy because like for me, obviously like I'm in my 30s, so I grew up on Craig David. So for me, like Craig was like that Ball to Do It album when it dropped. It was like probably easily my favorite album for still one of my top 5 albums. Do you know what I mean?
Billy told me because Billy was working with a guy called Rob Stewart, and they had, because Craig's, from what I understand, Craig's demo tape had done the rounds in the industry, and people weren't picking it up, right? So
even after Rewind.
No, I think this was probably pre that, I would imagine, where like Craig was. I just remember that there was like a ton of demos, I'm sure, and they were listening. I remember Billy said he was listening in the car, and Rob both had the demo tape, and they were listening to it. And then he said one night it just clicked. I think he listened to it, and he just like, we got to sign this guy. Like, he just had this moment where, no, this is it. He suddenly got it, and yeah, signed him, man. But yeah, it just goes to show from the artist point of view as well. Like Jay-Z set up Rockefeller Records because no one was signing. Yeah. Every label turned them down.
I think that's the best way now. Like that they say that if you can't get booked for a party, create your own party. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think that's
brands, brands at the moment, 100%. You got to create. If you create a brand and noise, and I think most importantly, a following. If you can create a following, and this is for a DJ or this is for an artist, the infrastructure is there for you now independently, where it wasn't before.
No.
So all of the tools are there.
I think so now.
It's a case of getting hold of them and using them in a way that's going to be authentic and work for you.
That's why I feel like YouTube is such a great, like, before I used to watch music videos on YouTube. Yeah. Now I watch how-to videos on YouTube.
Yeah, 100%.
How to edit videos, how to start a podcast, how to start YouTube, how to do this. I watch so many videos like daily now. It's kind of like my my home feed is just like it's full of NBA. Oh, yo, just want to say, have you watched that Michael Jordan documentary?
Yeah, of
Last
course.
Dance. Oh,
yeah,
bro. I don't know about you, but I just felt so inspiring. The fact that he's such a winner and that he'll keep on going, and all he wants is just to win, and he's on it 24/7. Yeah. And I feel like that sort of thing, like if you've got that same sort of desire, you can do anything. I feel without hunger and desire, I feel like anyone can do anything.
Yeah, but you know what though? If you watch it, you can see that he's had to sacrifice stuff in order to do that. Whether it's relationships and, you know, some of the things that he's done and how he's acted, it got a result. It got the result that he wanted, but there are always implications and costs in doing what he did. So you got to kind of balance that out. And so long as you're true to yourself, and I'm sure he was true to himself by doing what he was doing, but he was self-aware enough to realize kind of I think some of the cost. I've only watched it all the way through once. I will watch it again, but I definitely picked up on that. I thought it was great. I really like the music that they put in as well.
They put the music of the era as well at each time.
Yeah, exactly. And I always end up, when I'm looking at it, I was a bit distracted because I was looking at some of the fashion, and I just remember looking at some of the warm-up jackets they had, because the 90s basketball, that was like the peak time for me.
Yeah.
Being like, at the time, I would have been like in my teens. So that was the stuff that I was checking. And I was just like, oh man, I wish I had picked up some of that at the time. Like BJ Armstrong, when he was going into the gym with Michael, he had like a Nike Air big leather varsity jacket. I'm not sure or it might just have been a full leather jacket, and it had the Nike Air logo on the back, big, and it's
like the old Avirex jackets.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah, I remember you see some of those vintage Avirex jackets. They're just
back in the days. I remember like for then I wasn't like I was seeing the fashion, so I was seeing the Avirex jackets. I was seeing I can't even remember, like the baggy jeans, the Tommy. Tommy was massive back then.
Yeah.
Tim, the whole sort of vibe was kind of like, and do you remember like I used to wear like baggy trousers and try to get like a pair of Air Forces, like an Air Force whites, and when you think about it back then, it's like, when you look at it now, you laugh. Like when you look at Jordan's fashion in the like thingy, you're like, rah, he's got the baggiest jeans I've ever seen in my life. That's
and the huge shoulders on the jackets, and the jackets, like the shoulders were kind of out here. And I suppose because they're so tall and so big, it's just happening on such a much bigger scale than if you and I were wearing them.
Yeah, they look like.
You forget,
go on.
When you watch basketball, like probably the shortest person on the court is taller than me.
Yeah.
The one that looks really tiny, that's not even me. You know, I'm like 5'11".
Yeah.
If I'm wearing like, you know, thick soled shoes. And I'm like, you look at some of these guys, you know, like if you're 6'4", you're considered like short. They were going, short, like, that person's undersized. Obviously there are exceptions.
Yeah, 100%.
Check out Muggsy Bogues. Like Muggsy Bogues is brilliant. If you want to watch on YouTube, watch some Muggsy Bogues videos, or Spud Webb winning the slam dunk competition.
I was watching the slam dunks. I was watching them recently. I was
Spud
like,
Webb is like mad short. I wish I knew the exact height, but he's shorter than me, and he is dunking. His vertical is insane.
Did he win one of the champs?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay, I got to check because I've been watching since that documentary. I don't know why. I just been watching loads of stuff on like LeBron James, Steph Curry, and obviously Michael Jordan. Obviously, you watch a lot in that, and I'm just so now fascinated with it. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy because the energy, the fight, and I just love it now. There's so much energy. It's kind of like, for me, it's like a positive, just watching them win and stuff. And like, I was just like, talk about documentary though. Have you seen another one that inspired me probably the most was, have you seen the DJ AM one?
Yes.
Oh man, when I watched that.
Yeah, I bought that one. I've got that. I think I've still got that one saved on my phone.
Yeah. What did you think of it? I mean, for me, it was just amazing, but
yeah, heartbreaking.
Yeah. It's sad because you know the end before you watch it.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Even at the beginning, it shows you like the clips and stuff. But when you watch like his journey and stuff, like, was you a fan of AM like back in the days?
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the first. He was like one of the first like open format DJs before almost every club DJ was an open format DJ. There was a time, you know, where that kind of became a thing, probably largely influenced by DJs. But he was one of the guys who did that. Mark Ronson was, he's still one of my favorite DJs. Such a safe guy as well. But I remember Mark Ronson. My first trip to New York was in '99, and I heard Mark Ronson spin then. And obviously then it was vinyl, so you had to hunt down these records. So you would start. Actually, the funniest thing about that trip to New York, I remember arriving, and I was staying with my friend Tadia in Soho, and we went to a club almost immediately. You know, when you land somewhere and someone's taking you out straight away. So my feet have barely touched the ground. We're going out that night. We went to a place and they were playing like proper like reggae and stuff, which was great on the Sunday. And then the Monday I went to a party at this pier, and they were playing UK 80s pop music, because like that was the niche thing. Whereas over here we would have thought, well, that's kind of a bit cheesy. Yeah. But and I just thought, this is so weird. I've traveled all the way across the Atlantic and I'm here listening to 80s pop music that I would definitely, if I played this, people would not be happy. But there was like cool people in there, and they were like kind of bullshit, but that was like a bit of a random one.
But no, the thing is, I love 80s pop, and like,
I do.
Like, I love listening to, like, even on Spotify, I say this is 80s, and I'll just pull it on, because my favorite song is Toto, Africa. So that's always like in the top 3 songs, and then you've got like, I just love that whole vibe. Do you know what I mean? And nowadays,
80s
sort of
for
music,
me was the best for pop music. My generation, 80s. The way I do it, I do 80s pop music, 90s hip hop, and noughties R&B.
R&B. Oh yeah, you know that noughties R&B.
Yeah, although I've started to appreciate late 80s hip hop now as well. There's some
serious. But when was
really,
you?
Really dumb stuff then.
But when was you like? What was like? When did you start DJing? And like, what sort of era was you kind of DJing in the clubs? Like when you first started? Like, what time period was it?
So I would have probably started DJing like professionally in clubs like 98, probably 99. So probably 98. So
like chronic times.
Yeah, but the tracks, definitely the big tracks from the time, definitely Murder, She Wrote. I reckon Murder, She Wrote would probably have been the most, if I went through my career and we were talking about what tune have you probably played the most ever, because that was right at the start. I don't even know exactly when it came out. I don't think it might not have been new then in 99. It would have come out in the 90s.
Yeah.
But when I picked it up, I would watch the clubs that I was playing in, and obviously, especially when you start, you're listening to what other DJs are playing, and you're looking at what the reactions are, and you'd be like, right, okay, I'm definitely going to need to get that. And it was like Beanie Man, Dancehall Queen, obviously Heads High. So it was just like those kind of. But I was playing like R&B and hip hop. And there's another DJ called Fat Freddie M. He was on Kiss. He had shows on Kiss. Wicked DJ. And there was a club in Paddington called the Starlight Club, and that was one of the clubs I used to go to. And I remember it was an R&B night, and he started with like ragga.
Yeah.
So his first 3-4 tunes that ripped the place apart were ragga. It was just like different. I was going to play a different genre, and And I always remembered that and respected that. And I was like, okay, so you can bend the rules a little bit, but that was his style. Yeah. That was his style. Fat Freddie M, shouts to him.
Yeah. I've never heard of Fat Freddie M. The thing is, I feel like I want to learn so much about a lot of the older DJs, like
Fat Freddie M.
Fat Freddie M. So who was like, when you was going to the clubs, who was you when, obviously just before you went out, started DJing, who did you go, like who was your favorite people to see? Was it Fat Freddie M? Like who else was you? Like, who was your go-to guy?
Yeah, it was as much the nights. Yeah, Fat Freddie M. There was a legendary DJ that sadly passed called DJ Swing.
Oh, everyone always tells me about Swing, and they told me that Swing was like a mixture of Shorty Blitz, like Westwood, like Jazzy Jeff, all in one.
He was just like, a larger than life character, party rocker, energy, super safe guy, just the dude. He was the guy. Yeah, 100%.
Was he like?
He would cut. He would do doubles. He would do random stuff. He would just take crazy risks. Stop a record if he saw two people. There was a story that somebody told me, or he maybe even told me, where he was doing. I think he was playing at Fresh and Funky at Iceni, and he put a new record on, and he saw two girls just stop in the middle of the dance floor because he played something new, and he pulled the record up and he got on the mic and told them, I know you stop dancing because you don't know this record. You need to keep dancing to this record. Don't do anything. Just keep dancing. And then he played the record again. So he would do stuff like that. Because he had the personality and he had the
and the confidence.
Yeah.
So then,
sadly missed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what everyone always says. Like people, I remember one of my guys, Charles. You know Charles Prince?
Yeah.
Charles Prince. He was like, he learned a lot. Like Swing took him under his wing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I never heard of him. So I started doing research, and I was like, this guy was killing it. That's why when I see the people that have been in the scene a bit longer, they all say, Swing was. I was like, damn, like who would? Not obviously you couldn't compare, but is there anyone similar of that to him now? Like, do you think in the industry?
Like, well, I mean, Shorty's probably the hip hop guy in terms of like technicals. And doing the doubles and that kind of thing. So I would say there's so many dope DJs out, but obviously I know Shorty. Lots of people know Shorty, and he's dope. He's a safe guy as well,
That's what I'm saying, because I remember, like, for me, like I told you before, we met at the link up, that like when I first started DJing, like started to learn, want to get into it, I would listen to your shows every night on Kiss. I think he was doing. Was it? I think it was
10 till 12. Was it the 10
till 12?
Yeah.
And I would listen again the next day on Kiss Cube on a regular basis. I would re-listen to your shows for the literally I would be at home, and because obviously that would help me learn about what's current and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And the one tune that kept coming up, and I said it to you again and again and again, and I love this tune. I think that's one of the reasons why, because you banged it so much. It was Everything Everywhere Every Day. Fabulous, Ryan Leslie, Kerry Hilson. Period was when I started kind of like, I've been DJing for too long, And then I used to always hear you play that, and I used to listen to it every
I just
single
love that
show.
record. Yeah.
Oh, mate.
I'm a big Ryan Leslie fan. I just think he's incredibly underrated. Some of his albums, he's ahead of his time. If you think about Me and You, Cassie, that hasn't dated at all. That could come out now. That could come out now.
Yeah. And
it wouldn't sound old.
It wouldn't. Even the vocals, they sound like they could easily fit now in a club set.
Yeah,
and they do. I still play it enough, like at least once a week. I still play it on the warm up, and it's crazy because I play to like 18-year-olds, and they all love the song. And I'm like, I love that they still love that. Do you know what I mean?
I love Long Way to Go as well. There's loads. Long Way to Go. That album's dope.
And even in a lot of stuff with Fab, like You Be Killing Them. Yeah, I love that. Whenever he just does that, he's just. And I used to love watching him on YouTube as well because I feel like he's so creative, so talented. And when
there's that one where he's jumping around between all those interviews. Yes. Sorry, all those instruments and
he's on the keys.
It's amazing.
Like,
yeah.
And then he does the thing in the mouth. He's like, yeah. But talk about production. How long? I remember. The first song that I heard of you production was, and I told you again, was Street Fighter. Yeah. Bro, like, just. Do you know what it is as well? Because it's got that bass, that like, how did that come about? Like just making that tune and getting D double and just the concept sort of thing. Okay, so I knew this. Well, I still know him. There's a guy called Jay Cox, and he, as well as plugging music, so promoting music to DJs, he's also heavily involved with Capcom and video games. So I would. He would hook up DJs and other people with games, so we would obviously talk about it, tell people, and to help sort of promote games. So I knew that Street Fighter was coming up, Street Fighter 4 was coming, and I just thought, oh wow, being a Street Fighter fan since, when I used to go to uni on Holloway Road, which is ironically, I used to walk past where Kiss FM was originally, my two campuses on Holloway Road. Took me past Kiss FM basically every day. That's crazy. I never thought I'd go in there, but anyway, that's another story. I told you a bit sidetracked. Well, there was an arcade on Holloway Road where Street Fighter 2 appeared, and I was just fascinated. But that's another story. Love the game. Love the game. So I was trying to get a copy of Street Fighter 4. I was trying to on the Black thing really, and then he said, "Oh, why don't you? I've got all of the sound effects for Street Fighter. Why don't you start playing them during your mix?" And I was like, that sounds a little bit like product placement. Like, I was I'm not sure. I said, has anyone ever done a tune? Maybe I just spoke out loud, and I was, like off the top of my head, and I just sort of said, has anyone ever made a tune using them? Not knowing that Dizzy had done a track with Street Fighter. I didn't know that. So he was like, I don't think so. And I was like, okay, I don't think so. So that was when I started putting the beat together with the sound effects that he sent me. And the first thing I started with was the Dizzy, the Dizzy as in when you get hit and the birds go around your head. Yeah. There's a Dizzy sample. So that's what I looped up first. And then I was listening to some of Logan Summers. He was doing some grime sessions on a Monday with Kiss. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and, midnight, right? Yeah, I just remember just getting in the zone. And I was in the studio and just listening to loads and loads and loads of grime instrumentals. But I'd come across that patch. It's called the Brutal Electro patch that's in a VST called Massive. And I remember coming across it and just remember thinking that sounds really tough. So got obviously got hate for using a preset, as you do, from certain people, and you just have to go for it. I was just like, oh, it is what it is. Just it sounds good. I'm just going to play it, and it sort of dropped, and I put the beat together. And originally the idea would have been, I was like, well, why don't you go to Capcom and put it up on their website, and then make a competition for someone to write to the instrumental that I've done. But I don't think that progressed. And Jay was like, why don't you just kind of go ahead with it? I don't think they're going to be too bothered about samples, particularly just because of the sound effects and stuff. Yeah. So then, I kind of put the beat together. I needed to get a grime MC in on it.
spoke to Lawrence, who was looking after Newham Generals, and I'm pretty sure Logan. I spoke to Logan. Who do you think? And he said, you know, you should talk to D Double, because he'd absolutely kill it. So, you know, long story short, D Double came round and recorded it, and yeah, that was it. He came round, and I remember because we were going up on Wikipedia because Double wanted to be so authentic to the game. We were searching more and more characters that were in Street Fighter 4 that obviously aren't the usual ones. Like, you've all got the original from 2 that everybody knows, but then we were looking into other characters while Double's writing, and it was just like, oh, there's this character, what does he do? What does he do? Because if you actually go through and you look at the lyrics, I'm just trying to remember now.
He talked about the character in something they do.
It was like one of them, you're just an imposter like Fei Long.
Yeah.
Fei Long? Yeah, Fei Long.
Yeah, because he looks like Bruce Lee.
Imposter, Bruce Lee imposter. So there's loads like this. Oh, you're ready and able. There's a character called Abel. You're not able. There's a character called Abel that came in. There's just so many. There's so many more
things,
in it. There's one called Jury was in it as well. Yeah, you be the judge, you be the jury, or I'll be the jury. So there's a character called Jury in it. Yeah, it's been a while since I revisited, but yeah, we were just going through all those characters, and then I just remember. So we finished it, and I needed to get it ready because I was on air before Logan. So I wanted to get the tune ready because I wanted to give it to Logan.
Yeah.
So while I was on air, a really good guy called Tyrrell, who does sample replays and mixdowns and stuff, he was actually sending me versions while I was on air. So I had to try and like pre-fade it and listen, because I really wanted Logan to get the exclusive, because you know how essential Logan's show was on Kiss on a Monday. That was just like absolutely legendary. That was like must listen to if you had any slight interest in grime at all. You
needed to listen to that show. That was like the main show. Yeah.
So I wanted to get it ready because I'm like, look, if I don't get it together now, it's going to be a whole nother week. And you know, it's like once stuff's ready, you've got to get it out. So the one mix came in, it wasn't quite right. I think there was too much reverb on Double's voice. It just didn't quite sound right. So I needed it present. So you take the reverb off so it makes it more upfront. And I was like, right, this is it. So I then talked to my producer. I said, can we burn this to CD? Because that's what Logan's playing it off. So then we burn it to CD, gave it to Logan. And I just remember driving home after I finished the show. I thought, oh, it'd be interesting to see if Logan plays it or not. And it's funny, when significant things happen, you remember where you were, right?
Yeah.
So I'm driving home and I am just coming up to Temple. So just the tube station.
Yeah.
So I'm about to go along Embankment. And I remember Logan just played a track by Terror Danger, and Terror's tunes was so wide and like full, it just sounded absolutely massive, right? And I just thought, wow, that's sounding heavy. And I'm driving, and then it's gone, and then I heard Street Fighter start. I hear the dizzy thing at the beginning. I think Logan's dropping a few bombs and that, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, bare bombs.
Like this tune, we were talking before about mono. Street Fighter is quite mono. It's like quite down the middle. So it's a completely different sounding record to Terror. And I was like, oh, does this sound not as good just because it's different? And I was like, okay. And then I'm driving while I'm listening to it. I thought, okay, sounds all right. And then you got the Logan Jackham. So it got jacked up, and I was like, okay, we're all right. That wasn't just a one spin, that was a pull up.
Yeah.
And then I just remember the next day, I mean, Mr. Jam hit me up on BlackBerry Messenger on BBM. It was just like, yo, can I get a copy of Street Fighter? And I was like, of course you can. Like, yeah, send it to him straight away. Then he's on it. And then I think a few other people like wanted copies. And I was like, yeah, of course, because it wasn't signed or anything particularly. We were just sort of promoting it. And then, it's Dirty Stank had it. They kind of had it signed, I guess, because obviously it was with Double. So But in terms of, there wasn't like, oh, don't send it to anyone. It was just like, look, let's just get this out and make it.
To DJs, let DJs play it so everyone can hear it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But no, I love that song, man. Every time I hear it, even I was listening to my friend Walshy, you know Walshy, he was playing.
Yeah.
And he was doing some grime, and all I heard was, I was like, oh, Street Fighter. I was like, because it goes round one. It's me you're mad at.
Interestingly, when we came to the release version, we had to redo all of the sound effects just because, you know, if you're selling stuff, it's a little bit different to if you're just doing a club promo thing. So Double does all of those voices. Is it? So round one, that's Double.
Hey.
All of the voices on it that you hear, it's Double. So he did an impression of all of the people, and then we sent it to Tyrrell, the engineer, who then made them 8-bit, crunched them, and make them sound exactly like the originals. So it's Double.
Damn, that man's got skills. Because I was like, for me, every time I hear it, I'm like, yo, tune. And I just love it because you can put it in a car now. And then when you feel that bass hit, you're like, that's what I'm saying, bro. So then, like, and you done a tune. My next tune that I remember you done was with, the guy that you formed Rhythm Commission with, Marco. Is it
Marco Del Hono?
Yeah, it was Whole Rhythm. Yeah, with P Money.
That was with P.
Because obviously he does a lot of like bass rhythm tunes, and that's when I heard that tune. I was like, nah, this tune was even harder, bro. Like, I love that, like, you have that sound and then you push that sound, do you know what I mean? And then you have people that like D-Double, P Money. And then you said before,
I've got Logan to thank for that, because again, I had a conversation with Logan. The thing with these things, what I've realized is you've got like the tune, you've got the artist, and I even remember speaking to my producer, like Double sent me a rough demo over via Lawrence, and I heard it and I was like, yeah, this sounds cool. But you know, I wasn't sure. You can't say, oh, this is gonna become what it becomes. Yeah. So you always have that. I just thought, okay. You know, I remember, I was saying, what do you think? Do you think it's all right? You know, it was like my first, I had done some stuff before. I'd done sort of R&B mixes. Yeah. I did a remix of Kyla's Do You Mind? But yeah, that was the one that really kind of popped. You know, I just remember like waking up and listening, and it's on the radio. And it's just like, wow. You know, what a great way to wake up.
That feeling,
you're hearing it on the radio, you're hearing your tune on the radio, and it's just like,
but that's crazy, because like, so did you play that often in your show? Because like, I know that it was more kind of harder.
No, because when I was DJing out, I'm DJing out doing hip hop and R&B shows, right? So I'm not playing grime.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you got a grime tune, but you're not playing it.
Other DJs were really playing the records, because I wasn't really doing that. I wasn't really doing that style when I was DJing, so it was quite weird, but it's all right.
It's crazy. You got a tune, but you don't play it.
Yeah,
like,
but the thing is, so the other thing is timing. So Street Fighter came out off the back of Double's Bad to the Bone over Woo Riddim.
Epic.
Okay, so there's a tremendous advantage in that. Coming is timing, and Ho Riddim with P. So Marco had done a tune called Ho, which was more housey. Then I got asked by the label via Hamish Harris, who's a good friend of mine. He said, look, that over at Black Butter, they've got this tune and they want a remix. They really like Street Fighter, so I knew what they wanted, and it took me quite a while to get together. But I just thought, you know what, I can't just do an instrumental. I'm going to need I really want to get an MC on it. So I spoke to Logan and I was like, who do you think? And he was like, just that was after P Money had done Slang Like This.
Oh, True Tiger, yeah?
Yeah. So it was like, okay, let's see if we can make that happen. And I spoke to P, and like P's like super professional, like super punctual, like, you know, he's around recording it. And so we did that, put that together. And yeah, you put it out. I remember driving to the works in Kingston, possibly.
Yeah, I know the works in Kingston.
And
Yeah.
Mr. Jam, Mr. Jam played it. I heard the kick because the kick's quite specific. It's quite a different sounding kick to stuff. I was just in, I think it was just in Logic. It was in the Ultra Beat. It was just one of the kicks that I liked. And I just remember hearing the kick, and I was like, "Wow, hold on a minute." You know, when you're a DJ, you know what a record is from the first. A lot of the ones that you know a lot of, within the first half a second, you can go, "Yeah, I know what that is."
Yeah, I know it is. Yeah.
So I heard it, and I was like, "Oh wow, we're playing it on Radio 1." So yeah, so that one went really well. And then I kind of started overthinking everything, because if your first two tunes are Street Fighter and Ho Rhythm, it's just like, okay. It was just a bit difficult. I just found it incredibly difficult after that to write something that either wasn't exactly the same, which I wasn't going to do, or trying to come up with something else. Plus, you know, I was doing 4 Kiss shows. I was doing 4 Kiss shows a week. Yeah. Sourcing all the music, doing all the mixes, doing all the interviews during the day.
How long does it take? How long does it take to like do your Kiss shows? So let's say you do like a 2-hour show or whatever. How long does it take, like the prep and stuff, or is it you just kind of, do you prep it or you just freestyle it?
No. I mean, particularly the times that I was doing it then, I would prep everything down to, you know, I would do my own track list, have my track list together. I'd have all the sections together, because, you know, with live stuff, all right, you can get that spontaneity, but I don't really want to be rushing for a record. When it's live on air.
Yeah,
one of my biggest recurring nightmares, and I still kind of have it, even though I haven't done live radio in such a long time. It's going off air.
What do you mean, like going off air?
The music running out and silence.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you think, you know, dead air in a club when a record runs out. On live radio, that's even worse. The record running out.
Imagine.
Yeah.
I feel like
I used to like have dreams of being in Kiss and the sound going off.
The thing is, I think all DJs, because I have the same dream. Like,
where are you though? Are you in the radio or are you in the club?
No, I'm in a club. So I'm in a club.
There you go.
And I'm like the song's running out, and I'm searching on my laptop for a song, but for some reason, like the words won't come out, and I can't pick a next song, and the song I want's not there. And I'm like, but it's realistic. Like I feel like I'm actually in a club. And I feel like a lot of DJs have that. But I imagine for you, it must be even worse, because you've probably got people calling you, what's going on? Why is there no music?
Well, you would have done. I managed. There was a special phone in the studios. Yeah. There was a super duper special phone, which was like the bat phone. And if the bat phone rings, there's like a light would flash in the studio, like a white light. So that was serious. That would get your attention. If that went, something was going down, and it's not good. You don't want that phone to go. I don't think it ever happened. I don't think I ever.
I know. If you're professional, man. That's what I'm saying.
No, but things happen, bro. Things can happen.
Like, was you, obviously, I'm guessing you were using Serato, was you, when you was doing it?
Yeah, when I was doing we had it set up really nicely, actually. So Kiss has got the boards, and normally you would have like the faders, and then you would hit start, and that would normally play the CDs or play the vinyl. You would hit start on the desk. So what Chris Blackley, who was kind of the head specialist producer, he managed to get Serato wired, or a patch bay, so that when they went up and you hit the button, it actually pressed the CDJ, which would then play in Serato, which was really good. So I literally had a portable hard drive with me on the CDJs, so it was great. I was using it like a portable hard drive.
So you could use their music
like a normal desk. Sorry?
So then would you have to have all your music, or could you use their music?
It was a mixture, because it was on the desk. I would have mine on a couple of faders, and then you could have stuff that had been cleaned, or if you had like a pre-recorded interview, that would be on another fader. The ads would be on a fader, mics on a fader and stuff. So yeah.
Nah, man. But did you obviously use that Kiss? How long was you at Kiss for? I mean, I know you're still there now, but how long was you doing that show for?
I did that show for about 3 years. I joined Kiss in about, trying to work it out, in about 2000, you know, so it's 20 years.
2000?
Yeah. I had a tape, a friend of mine, a DJ friend of mine, found a tape of me when I started the Tuesday night. So when I first started at Kiss, I was doing something called the late night sessions. I believe it was Monday nights. I think it was 2 till 4. So it was literally in the middle of the night. And I used to go there because I was working in the city at the time. So I used to take my records into work. So I used to do work. I had my Technics record bag, which had like all my records for my 2-hour show. And then I would take them with me on the tube up from Chancery Lane up to Holloway Road.
Yep.
And then I would get off, I'd walk up to the station, still in my suit, and I'd do like after work. So I'd probably pre-record from about maybe 7 till 9 or something. So I then pre-record the show, and then the show would go out that night.
That's crazy, man. And you would just do it in one take?
Yeah, pretty much. Although, fortunately, I had a producer, because the producer, Melissa Johnson, she was amazing. She's a really, really good teacher. Like, really, like, didn't take any mess at all. Really quite strict. Scared me a bit. But that's good in a way, though.
I think it is. So it keeps you in line.
So it sort of scared me a little bit at first, but she was really cool. I remember I did my show, and one time when I was pre-recording it, she said, "Swerve, you know, like when you when you pre-fade, which means listening to something without having the fader up, so you can preview stuff."
Yeah,
people that are listening, they don't know what it is, right? So she said, if you've got the fader up, you know those things are going to come out, right? I was like, no. She said, yeah, because during your show, luckily I checked, you fired about. I must have been like testing what the IDs and the jingle sounded like. She said, you fired 12 during this tune. She said, but don't worry, I've managed to I stopped them, because luckily it's pre-recorded. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. So she can kind of edit and stuff.
She saved it. I think, it was probably recorded on a separate track, so she could just like delete that part.
Delete that track, and then
delete that section. Yeah.
But it's good. I feel like it's good to have someone there sometimes to kind of like guide you. Do you know what I mean? I think
producers are really important. Producers are really important, just so that you can concentrate on your output and you're not worrying about other stuff. Like, say for instance, if you're interviewing someone, doing a live interview with someone, the producer should be listening to how both mics sound, and if something needs to happen to either your mic or their mic, they should be able to do that, rather than you have to think about, well, hold on a minute, how is this mic sounding? Because then you're not going to be able to do the interview as well, because your attention's going to kind of be less focused. Your focus should be on the person.
Just the interview, and they should be focusing on the technical side of it.
I know there's a budget aspect or whatever, but
So then, you had your producer on a Monday, and then have you always been with Kiss, or like did you come off and then come back on?
Yeah, I've always pretty much been with Kiss. I had like a little hiatus, I suppose, for a few months when they switched up the evenings. So I think my contract didn't get renewed. Probably, was it 2011? It was about from 2011, maybe the end to the beginning of 2012. The boss at the time, Andy Roberts, wanted to switch it up, changing like the music and stuff a little bit.
Is that when it was getting more housey, wasn't it?
Well, to be honest, the show and the music, and the shows tend to kind of evolve. And the way the show was evolving, it was moving away from kind of what my strengths really, and it was becoming more of a presenter thing, but still playing and representing a large part of R&B and hip hop. But that was the time though where that hybrid of house, EDM and R&B was coming.
LMFAO, that sort of stuff.
So it's a duty to kind of reflect on those trends as well. And it just so happened that was what they wanted to do in that time slot. So yeah, AJ had won the Kiss.
I thought, yeah,
AJ King.
yeah.
Yeah. So he came in, and yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was like, it was a bit weird at the time, just sort of, you know, hearing like, okay, we're not going to be needing you now for doing this. But credit to Andy. Andy said, look, let's work on some ideas of a show and what you think, you know, you can do. There's nothing to move to at the moment, but we'll stay in touch, and you know, let's just see what happens. So I started working on this mix block idea, kind of like a cross genre thing where it was like house and other bits and pieces all mixed together. Was like working on those, still going out doing gigs anyway, because I was still busy off that. And then, you know, true to his word, the show came up. He said, yeah, let's put it in Saturday nights, and yeah, it's back in the mix again. No, it just goes to show, like, don't burn bridges.
Yeah, 100%. Like, some people would have been like, oh no, monkeys, da, da, da.
It's just like, yeah, you could have been so like, well, okay, well, you know, oh, that's not right. But you just have to, okay, always, like, you know, I'm quite a trusting person unless proven otherwise, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
And, you know, I really, I can't see myself anywhere else. It's just like, it's such a nice family there. Yeah. Like, the people that work there, I mean, I can honestly say, genuinely say, the people that work there are so passionate about the music.
Yep. They
really are music fans. And there'll be the people that work there's a lot of people that work in the office on the team, that they will go to the Kiss events and they'll party. They'll party at non-Kiss events. You tell them about a party that you're doing and they'll come down.
Yeah. That's what you want, though, isn't it? Like, people that
very,
are cool,
very
that
lucky.
enjoy music.
Yeah,
because Kiss do so much. I feel like they have like their events, and then, like I said, they got the Marbella thing, they got the Ibiza thing. I think there's another spot they do. I'm not sure, maybe Milk or something, but like they have that. And I think it's great that they bring their Kiss DJs to them events. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Because obviously, I know, you know Billy the Kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill's a good friend of mine. Me and Bill worked together on a Friday night in Romford for like 3 years together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like we built like a relationship. So I know Bill White quite well. And like, I like that. And also I went to go see him in Ibiza as well. So like, and I've seen Dixon Brothers, and obviously like I've seen AJ King. So I like the fact that they bring all their DJs to that, and then they put you on the history thing. And I love how like they have that. They're not just the station. They have other events for their DJs. Yeah. And for the people mainly. Do you know what I mean? That's why I look at Kiss.
History is massive. It's just like got to be one of the most loved. I think it's one of the most recognizable and loved brands, and the name is just genius. I remember when Andy Roberts told me about it. We were at I think we were at a corporate party. I can't remember whether it was a Christmas one or it was a special launch. It was a celebratory event, and we were walking down the stairs to go down to the main dance hall bit, and he told me, we just had this meeting, and there's going to be this show. It's going to be called Kistory. It's going to be old school Kiss stuff. I was just like, that's an interesting name. It's like Street Boy is going to be the host of it on a Sunday. And it was a Sunday show. And it just, I mean, the name, you can't get a better name. I mean,
the best name.
Just because of Kiss and the way it works with history, it's just like, hold on. I don't know who the person was that came up with that, but I tell you what.
They need to get paid. That's like in the dictionary. That's old school music.
Yeah, it is. What's the genre? History. The thing is, you've got to be careful with that because it's a brand. But obviously, if you said, I'm going to play a history set, you know what you know it's throwback, you know it's good party, but it could be house, it could be R&B. That's the good thing about it. I love playing those parties, man. That's like the highlights of the summer, just going and doing those. I mean, this year I was actually making a point of actually extending my stays when I was over in Ibiza, because
I'm glad you would have done that, bro.
Because they could be a quick in and out.
Same day, innit? Say you fly in there.
Yeah. Same in, same out. Yeah. So I was gonna like stay an extra night, just just relax a little bit, because that's the thing with the DJing. It can be very like wham bam, in and out, and it's like.
Like literally, especially you go in there. It's just too quick. You can't enjoy it. I feel like you're not enjoying the moment as much because it's so much happening so quickly that you leave your house in the morning and you come back to your house at night.
I think looking back on things, I mean, one of the strengths I've had is definitely always being professional. But I think I could probably have actually just taken a bit more time when I was in places, and not just be straight in, do the job, and
Roll
like
out.
hang, but not like extend the stay.
Yeah.
Like I DJ'd in Jordan once. I did a private party in Jordan, and like that's a beautiful country. And I didn't really like make the most of it. I could have maybe got an even later flight, and then because there's so, you know, people when you go over, especially when someone's flown you somewhere, like some of the people are so hospitable.
Yeah.
And you want to, they'll know the places to eat, and there's nothing better than actually sitting down and having a meal with people to get to know someone. That's the best.
Yes.
Especially
Meals someone that's booked you.
They're the best ways to get to know someone, really. Because in a club, you're always like shouting over the music, and but when you sit down and you have a meal before, yeah, exactly. So I kind of definitely looking to do more of that now. You know, spend a bit more time. But yeah, I've got to be my advice to people that are, you know, traveling. Obviously not at the moment, but when travel opens up, you know, sort of appreciate it more.
When if you don't mind me asking, when was you? Obviously, I know that a lot of travel stopped now, but when was your? Did you know the dates of the Ibiza for this year already? Was it
yeah. I had a couple. I've already. I think this weekend would have been Marbella. iCow is still trolling me. I was talking to Matchstick about this, another DJ. Like,
I know Matchstick. He does old school. I see him on the history.
Keeps popping up. It was like, yeah, I had an Ibiza one. Yeah, Ibiza one last week. There was another Ibiza one. There was a couple. Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, and one of the ladies at Kiss was going to go as well, and I was like, oh, you're going to be out as well. I was like, oh, it would have been really good fun.
Yeah.
But you know, there's bigger things happening. You know, just puts it in perspective. You know, it's just going to have to go, things like that are just going to have to go on pause for a bit, just for the greater good. You know, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, man. Because I would have been like, because last year I went to go see Billy. I actually played in O Beach. You know, Spoonie. Spoonie does the. Obviously, I know you. Of course, you know Spoonie. You probably like best buds, but like he does a thing on every Thursday. Yeah. And then I got booked for that last year. That was actually my first ever O Beach booking. So I was like, it was a massive deal for me. I was nervous. I was shaking. I was just like, do you know what I mean? And then, but like, I was gonna go back this year because I like to see like yourselves. Like, last year I saw like Billy. I saw Dixon Brothers. So this year I like to go see like people like yourself in your history show. Do you know what I mean? That's what I was gonna find out. Like, what dates was it? Because I want to come down, fly for like a couple of days, come back to you. Just only like 2-hour flight, so it's not too bad. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I love watching other DJs just kind of like be in the zone. Do you know what I mean? Because I love. I don't know about you, but I just love watching DJs. That's why I used to love listening to your sets and hear you play. Like we've had you in Windsor a couple of times before. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why I love. That's what I'm saying. I love. And you always call me. What name do you always call me? You call me Mr. Deltic.
It's true though. And you know what? And Walshy and his Afro beats is just next level, bro.
He loves that, bro.
Next level.
Now he loves Caribbean food.
You know, when I saw him, that was a few years ago, and that was like probably just the start of the Afrobeats wave, where obviously it's been strong for years, but it's where it's really starting
flying up.
That was, you know, imagine 2 years ago. So I've got in. I was in the main room. I think you were in the main room, and I was like, let me go and see what's happening. And I went into room 2, and I just remember couldn't get in there for a start. So I just remember sticking my head around, and I was like, what is going on in here? This is a vibe. So I've kind of gone, and I've seen Walshy, and his usual thing, and I was just like, okay, don't know this tune. Don't know this tune. Don't know this tune. Need to know all of these tunes.
100%.
I'm just like, and I just like, I'm just a fan of music, right?
Yeah.
And I love how people react. And I'm always more party, right? So lately, I've definitely focused more on, and this goes for the Kiss show as well. I mean, I will play some like harder music, but I'm trying to do kind of lighter vibes, kind of, you know, and so because it's needed. So I've been playing definitely a few more slow jams, soulful stuff, and there's so much really, really good UK soulful stuff coming through at the moment. And there'll be some more stuff. I've got some ideas I'm already working on with Kiss to really try and push that.
They need to, because there's not much R&B.
Sorry?
There isn't any, when you think about it, there's not really much R&B. Like in UK music, R&B isn't represented. And like,
no, but you know what? Now I'm getting stuff through that's like, this works. And you know, I really want to push it. You know, like back in the day where you would champion tunes, and I'm like, I really want to go through, and not just for the sake of it, but actually tunes that I'm passionate about, that I feel should have a light shone on them. There's some really, really talented artists.
Have you got any particular songs right now that I need to look?
Well, there's a tune by Morgan called Sanctuary. Have you heard her tune Sanctuary?
No.
Really good.
Is that like, what is it? She UK though, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really dope.
Yeah. Was it? I'll check it literally right now. I won't play it, but I'll put it on my Spotify. So at least that way, because I always like to hear new songs. So it's Morgan
and Sanctuary.
And Morgan and Sanctuary.
No, Morgan, and the song's called Sanctuary.
Okay. This one. It looks on the camera's there. This one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, I'm gonna push like, and I've liked that. Okay, cool.
I want to make sure I get this pronunciation right. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's fine, bro.
Because I hate mispronouncing. There's a few. Obviously, Mahalia.
Mahalia.
Yeah.
I think I know Mahalia. I think I got one tune with her. She got a tune that's got a sample in it.
Yeah, the one. Yeah.
Like an old dancehall sample.
It was a Beanie Man sample, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I got that tune. I like that tune.
The Simmer tunes.
That's
so dope.
Simmer. Yeah.
She's done loads, man. Just want to make sure I wanted to get Alana Maria.
Because I think it's good for people to hear Alana. Is it? How do you spell Alana?
Alana Maria.
Okay, yeah. What song? Happier.
If you listen to that, you tell me what that is influenced by.
Yeah. Do you know what this sounds like right now from the top? That sounds like Italian Carly beat from the top.
Don't you bad tune. I can hear Omar. There's nothing like this.
Oh. I used to love Omar.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's good, man. So
there's loads, mate. Honestly, there's loads. You need to listen to the Kiss Fresh show, mate. That's where it is.
Oh, bro, 100%, bro. Do you know what it is? It's because, you know what it is? Every time I got the Kiss, because I've got the Kiss cube out my hair, look. Yeah?
Yeah. Like it.
Sometimes it's like, I try to register it and it's like, and I've signed in and I'm like, But now it seems to be working. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, no. They've definitely been doing a bit of an overhaul. So
yeah, it needed to be updated, so then it wasn't. Yeah. Because I feel like it makes you log in for stuff, and it's like, well, I don't want to log in. I just want to listen. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, look, just let me listen. But bro, like that's why I feel like Kiss Fresh is good, because it puts you on songs that you might not have heard. And nowadays, sometimes it's like, because obviously I learn a lot of music from Spotify playlists. So you know, personally, one thing I love to listen to people's own personalized ones. For me, you just learn so much. Like people could have.
So my show would definitely is the equivalent of a Spotify playlist.
Yeah, that's what I want.
It takes me probably as much time going through the music as it does doing the mix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because you got, especially
the filtering is, you can imagine now. But time management is key.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying.
If I play a tune, I don't just want to play a tune once and then you never hear it again, because I'm not into it, and then I probably shouldn't have played it in the first place. I want one, like you said, with the Fabulous tune. You heard that a lot.
So that was drummed in my head.
I just think that's kind of is more. If there's something that I'm into, like those two tunes I told you about, like I've been playing them a lot since I got them, and they're just like, I think that's where you get the support. So I just want to pick some artists there'll be some project. There's a project that we've been putting together. Had to adapt it slightly, but yeah.
No, that's what I love, man. Because it's, like I said, without even talking to you, I never probably would have heard them two songs, like ever.
Yeah, I mean,
But
loads
now,
of people put you on. Yeah, that's how you.
yeah, that's why I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, tell me a song, like, or even when people come to me in the club for a request, like, I'll be like, all right, show me what it looks like on Spotify.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, I ain't got it, but I'll listen to
Take
it
a
like
photo.
later.
Yeah, I always used to take a photograph
Always
and then
take a photo of that.
I'll check it out.
Ooh,
Yeah.
the amount of times, and there's sometimes, I'll look at my phone, I'll look at a tune from like 2 months ago, and I'm like, yo, I'm playing that tune now. Like, this guy told me about it. Yeah, and I've learned a lot from that.
Yeah, you don't have to. Gone are the days where you know everything about tunes. You don't. There's too much.
Especially with the youngsters, bro. They are on, because obviously, you know, the clubs are like 18, uni, college, fresh, and they're on music like they're on it faster than Spotify. Assume someone comes today on Spotify and they're like, yo, it's my new favorite tune have you got? And I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I love that some people are cool with it. They're like, yo, I'm like, yeah, cool, just give me the name.
But you know what though? I think if you're just honest and you just be like, no, I haven't, let me take a photo of it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna they won't bug you. Because it's just like, well, you know, okay, the person's listening to me, you know, you're not just going, oh, no, let's go away.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this is what I have sometimes. How many times, right, when you're maybe in a set and it's not quite going the way you want it to be, how many times has a request saved you?
Oh,
it's true, isn't it?
Like, so many times, and I'm like, damn it, that's right, I should play that right now.
And then we could go that way. You'll have one, it'll be a tune you won't have thought of, or you've forgotten, temporarily forgotten.
Correct.
And then you're like, and it just opens up your whole lane, and you've just got this whole branch, and you just
and like, you just go off on it and you kill it. Yeah.
This is why the only time it annoys me is if someone, like, when they come back and they keep coming back and they're becoming a pest, annoys me. Like, that's the only time.
You say that though, but sometimes you play the song and sometimes they think, oh, he's played one of my songs.
Yeah,
he's going to play all of my songs now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, look, I played two. I'm like, I played two of your songs. Like, just give me it. Just like, you know, I played two. Just
be able to work. Yeah, I just need to be able to work, because the thing is, what sometimes people don't realize is your brain's got to work. So it's ticking all the time, making calculations out of certain things. And you've obviously, in order to talk to someone, you're going to have to pause all of that.
Yep.
Have this conversation, and then you need to quickly switch back into the other mode. And so it stops. For people that are listening to this and don't understand, that's just what's happening. We're in the middle of something, we stop, which is cool, because you're there to have a party and enjoy yourself. And like we said, there are times where you'll save a set, because, you know, we might not quite have read the crowd correctly. Or
sometimes it happens.
Or we're just going down a certain way, and it could be a better way, and you've just told us something, and we're just like, actually, yeah, thank you.
You know what? You're right. I'm going to play that now for you. And
exactly.
And they get happy, and everyone gets happy.
Yeah.
And boom.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, I get that so many times, especially now with like TikTok songs. If I'm not like on it, and someone's like, "Oh, there's this new TikTok song," like it bangs. I'm like, okay, then I'll quickly drop it, and then everyone's dancing, like, you know, oh na na na, oh na na na. You know, everyone loves that song now, and I'm just like, who's gonna do the dance? Like, you know, you just gotta say that, because everyone's gonna then do the dance. Obviously, I'm like, oh gosh, but so if it works, isn't it? Yeah, do you know what I mean? That's why I say it, man.
Exactly.
But so if I don't want to keep you too long, I know you're a busy guy.
No, that's okay.
Nah, do you know what I mean? I appreciate you coming on. I wanted to obviously get you back on another time in the future, because you got, I feel like someone like you got so much experience, so much stories. I feel like we can learn from it. And for me, I love stories. Stories for me help everyone grow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Passing on the knowledge, man. But
no problem, man.
I don't want
to keep you. It's all about passing the knowledge down.
That's what I think, bro. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I help people sometimes if they need help and stuff. And I feel like with you, I love hearing your stories. I love hearing when you name check this person, this DJ. Because then I'm like, no, but because then it's like, for me, it's like history. It's not even history. It's like you're a DJ, you're a DJ lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? I've got my stories, you got your stories. And I feel like they can help people, especially like funny ones or stuff for the clubs, or it might even be inspiring. And for me, I look at stories as inspiring. You know what I mean? Like, I read a lot of books or stuff on like biographies and stuff. So I'm like, yo, like, thinking. One last thing though.
Yeah.
Like, just one question. Who is like your all-time favorite, would you say, Your all-time favorite DJ?
All-time favorite DJ.
Yeah. It could be old, new, anyone.
Oh, it's difficult because you've got different types of DJ, you see.
Yeah. But like, okay, who's the best person you've seen live, do you think? That just killed it. You think Swing?
Yeah, I mean, Swing's always good. Like growing up, I always enjoyed, there's a DJ from Philadelphia called Cash Money, who doesn't get as much shine as Jazzy Jeff, but they're both kind of in that upper level of turntablists at the beginning. You know, radio wise, I started listening. There's a guy called Sadly Past called Mike Allen, and then there was obviously Westwood was a huge influence. Yeah. So there's just so many. It's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. I can't name one because there's just been so many. And then like Marley Marl and Pete Rock from New York, and like Kenny Dope, some of the house DJs, DJ Dion. There's just so many. I think it's the fabric of DJing, and they've just got loads of different threads that are like
like Femme for this,
weaving through it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you just as a DJ, you just want to be part of that thread.
Oh, 100%.
Going through and weaving your thread through.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying with the stories and experience and lifestyle, bro. Do you know what I mean? That's why I thought I definitely wanted to have you.
We'll do some more stories next time. I'm sure.
No, 100%. I just want to have like story for this, because I love stories, man. Do you know what I mean? And I thought they tell the best. You know what I mean, through the stories. But
do you know who has some of the finest stories? The David Rodigan. His stories are just next level. And every time when I used to bump into him at Kiss, I would always try and get a story out of him.
He's got dubs from Bob.
He has the most fantastic. He's never paid for a dub in his life.
Never. But he's got dubs from everyone.
Never, exactly, because of the respect.
That's what I feel like there should be, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about Rodigan. Like I know, he's a legend, but like I wish there was a documentary that could like proper tell his story. So there then is. I could. Is there?
There is. Yeah. I'm sure you.
Do you know what it's called?
Find it online. I'd have to.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there was but.
There definitely, if there is, I'm definitely gonna find. That's my aim for today, to watch a documentary on him, so that I can actually truly like appreciate.
No, there is. I mean, I know he hit me up with a DVD. Which was, but that was like from a Clash Death Before Dishonor that I was looking at. But there is, and the book, and he's done a book.
A book of, oh gosh, I'll buy that today. Because I feel like he's such a legend, but people, especially like people younger, just don't really know who he is. Let me see.
Man, I tell you, the Clash. I mean, it's just trying to. Yeah. Anyone trying to Clash Rodigan?
You can't. He can just play one song and just shut you down.
He's got the stories. He's got the intro. I mean, you've seen the clips of him on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Just go and see some of those shutdown clips where it's just forget about it.
And he doesn't even mix, really, does he? It's just
no, but it's the Sound Clash style is. I mean, you're going to get super technical. It's context, which will be the introduction, and then it's the song. And when you're clashing, you're doing a counteraction. So someone will have played something, and if you're following it, Rodigan said that he told me he had this book. He had the counteraction book. So for it's this sort of like encyclopedia of what rhythm counters what rhythm.
No.
And what song. Yeah. So forget about it.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Like with chess, it's just you're gonna really, really struggle.
That's why I love hearing it. Because the first time I probably see him was on, that they had that Red Bull Clash when it was him, Chasing Status, and then there was a Boy But Unknown section. There was a section from America. I think it was Wiz Khalifa, Taylor Gang. And Rodigan, like, you just couldn't touch him. Like, he had dubs. And even, like, I felt like a lot of the Shy FX crew and Chasing Status, they had dubs. I feel like they all kind of looked up to him to be like, yo, this is the guy.
For sure. 100%. mate. Even if you just look, there are a number of them on there. There's the BBC 4 one, David Rodigan, Reggae Fever. There was the book that he was promoting. Yeah, there's so much stuff, man.
Oh, I'm gonna check that.
I've got so much time and respect
for it. That's what I'm gonna do. Learn that shit.
100%.
I really appreciate it, because I feel like he's such a guy that he needs to be like he's due. But I feel like I said, people that are a bit younger don't really know much about him. They'll be like, guy. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like as a DJ, I need to be educated on the people that were way before me and the originators. So.
Well, you know what? Like, legend gets used far too loosely, but like, he is a legend, like, without a doubt.
And everyone knows it.
Don't at me.
And that's the thing. I know he's a legend, but I just don't know why. But I need to find out. Just
his influence on the culture.
Yeah, especially from like the
reggae, love of reggae music across the board.
Especially because I'm Caribbean, so for me, I just felt like, especially even more, I need to kind of mess with him and kind of like understand him more. Do you know what I mean?
I just love watching the clips when he posts them up on Instagram of some of the olds, and you just see he comes in, he has the introduction, the setup, the story, he sets the context, and then he just pulls out this dub of either one of the biggest tunes ever that's then obviously personalized for him, and just people just running, waving their arms around, losing it just because he's just absolutely killed it. It's just,
that's what I'm saying. Oh man. But bro, I don't want to keep it too long, but I'm gonna
no worries.
Thank you very much for this. Appreciate it. Like I said, later on we're gonna come back and do another one, and then I want to get more stories because I know you've got stories, bro.
Yeah. I've got.
But bro, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
No worries,
take care, bro.
Take care. Stay safe.
Rest up. You too, bro.
Man.
Thanks.
Cheers,
Bye.
Bro. Bye, mate.